In this second video now, we're going to start looking at something called iteration. Okay, it's a really good computer science programming word, which is a process of repeating a bit of code or an instruction a number of times. Okay, as we said in the last video, it's really good practice actually to be as efficient or as lazy as you can when coding. Okay, so if you can say repeat this so many times, that's much better than writing out a number of times again and again and again. Okay. So in the previous example, we made a square, didn't we? So we said turtle dot move 100, turtle dot turn 90 degrees. And even if we copy and paste that, wrong bit. Let's copy all of that and do that 4 times to make a square. That's fine, it works. But we've got a lot of code here. We've got 8 lines of code. Okay, if we were doing something like a hexagon, okay, we'd have to have 12 lines of code. If we're doing a decagon, we'd have to have 20 lines of code. Okay, it'd be there forever. Okay, so let's find a much more efficient way of using iteration to make this much quicker. Okay, I can do it by having just that little bit of code there. Okay, so let's get rid of that to start with. So we use what's called a for loop. Okay, there are 2 types of loop. There's a for loop and a while loop. And the for loop will repeat something a specified number of times. Okay, so we say for, and we say I equals 1, 2, and then how many times we want it to repeat. Now, because it's a square, we're going to say 4. All right. Now, when I press enter, just look what happens to my mouse cursor. You see, it's not moved to the side, it's slightly in a bit here. Now, we call that an indent, okay? An indent is a fancy programming way of saying a space, okay? Now, what that means is all the instructions that will come next will form part of our for loop, okay? So let's tell it what we want to repeat. Turtle dot move 100, and then turtle dot turn 90. Okay, now it's giving us an error message here because it's saying I was expecting to see end for after this, and that's fine. Okay, so it's good just to keep a track of your errors. What we have to do, as well as having to start our for loop, we have to tell it when to stop repeating. Okay, so at the end, we're going to just say end for. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to read this line first. Remember, our sequence is a set of instructions in order, so the program will read it from top to bottom. So it starts by saying repeat the next bits of code 4 times. So it's going to do this and then that, but then come back to the top to do it a second time, a third time, and a 4th time. Okay. After the 4th time, it'll say, right, I've done this. I'm now going to come to here, and then if we had anything next, it'll do it below. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. And 4, okay? Wasn't that much easier? And this time we had just 4 lines of code, okay? Now it's much easier now if we want to make a different shape to modify our code, okay? Let's say we want to make a hexagon, okay? Now a hexagon has 6 sides, so all we have to do is change this number, remember this is the number of degrees that we're turning by, to something else. Now because it's 360 degrees in a circle, I want to divide that by the number of sides. So 360 divided by 6 is 60. And just like that, we've made it into a 6-sided shape. Again, let's run it to see. Perfect, there we can see it's making a hexagon. Now it's stopped there. Why is it stopped there? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's wrong with my code? This is one of those times where it's worked, but just not in the way that we expected. Okay, because I forgot to change this number up here to 6. Okay, so that should now do it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Now it's worked. Okay, so there are 2 things that we need to change when changing our shape. If we wanted to make a decagon has 10 sides. We just need to change 360 divided by 10. So this number would become 36, and change our top number to 10. and so on and so forth. Okay. There are other things that we can do as well. Let's explore Turtle a bit more. So if we come all the way down on the left-hand menu, down to Turtle, there's even more. There's a library here of other instructions that we can use. Okay, let's try the pen down, and also there's another one called pen up. Okay, so think of us as having a pen on the paper or off the paper. Okay, let's say we want to maybe make a dashed line, so we can change this to say Turtle dot pen. Pen up, and don't forget we need our brackets on the end as well. Okay, if ever you can't remember, it's absolutely fine to look things up. Okay, so turtle dot pen up bracket bracket, turtle pen up bracket bracket. Okay, now by default when it gets back to the top, back up here, when it repeats or iterates, it'll put the pen back down, but let's just add it in there just to be sure. Okay, turtle dot pen down bracket bracket. Okay, and let's just change that to, let's say, a 10. Let's see what happens. Remember, it's absolutely fine to get things wrong in coding. Okay, now here it's moved forward but then stopped. Let's investigate why that is. So let's move the pen down, moved it back. Let's add another line there so we're going the other way. Turtle dot turn right. Let's go the other way. Let's change that back to 100. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so it's making squares, so it's repeating 10 times, but we want this to come up, let's say, at the top if we wanted just a dashed line. Okay, always make one change, then run your code. Okay, trial and error is a perfectly acceptable process in computing. Okay, so it's making one continuous line. What do you think we need to change in order to make it a dashed line? Let's see. Let's maybe change this to, let's maybe copy this line here. Oh. And add that in there. So it's going to draw with the pen down and then draw with the pen up. Let's try. There we go. So it's now iterating or repeating our set of instructions 10 times. Give it a go, have an explore, see what you can make, and just remember, it's absolutely fine to make mistakes. Trial and error is a really good learning tool in this. Good luck!